What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
So one day I'm on Netflix and I see this trailer. As they do, they're promoting shows, little trailers, little snippets. Hey, check this out. Which is kind of nice. You get to see a little lead up. I kind of get excited about something instead of just waiting for it to drop and maybe I hear about it. So what I'm talking about is the Battle of Buster Scruggs from the Coen brothers. Kind of big. They're doing this movie, which is actually 6 parts, an anthology, not 6 parts, like they don't really connect. I'm sure there's theories out there where they connect all 6 of them. But it's very much kind of like a Black Mirror, in that kind of vein, except for their Western stories as told by the Coen brothers, who are amazing at just bringing to the screen like really rich characters. Like just I don't know how they do. I'm sure somebody who studies film or them themselves could tell me how they're able to do it. But like all of their characters in all of their movies, from Fargo to The Big Lebowski to this, like they're all great. Like they get great performances out of people, but the characters that these people play are so rich and believable. Like even though with the Coen brother movies, they're definitely based in reality, but there's like this, it's just slightly colored, a little bit more vibrant. There's just a little bit more to their little more pop to these characters than just a standard flat kind of a performance. Like they have the brings their characters to life. And this one starts off with Tim Blake Nelson, which if you're an Oh Brother Where Art Thou fan, also there's definitely a lot of remnants because it's dusty. I mean, this takes place in let's see, what is it's a post Civil War, but during like the heyday of the Old West. Let me see here. Bum, 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 bum. This doesn't, yeah, so it's like kind of Old West times, cowboys, Indians, stuff like that. I'm not necessarily a huge Western fan, but if the Coen brothers are doing it, then it's just gonna be like I'm gonna enjoy this experience. And all of the stories are good. Some are better than others, but they're like tragic endings. Some of these, like the ends to some of these, are like definitely like dark humor or just dark in general. But like the characters are so lively, so when they take this dark turn, it's just like living in those times were horrible. We're definitely living in the most comfortable, safest time ever. Like to look back at these times would be to see what like life would be like if everybody did own a gun, right? But except for they were all 6-shooters at least, or rifles. They weren't necessarily automatic assault rifles, but would be way worser if people were all armed right now. But at least we would know proof of concept. If you go back to the Old West, when pretty much everybody was armed and things were free, it was very much more of a libertarian kind of utopia, the Old West. Didn't go so well. Like people got shot all the time for all kinds of shit. But these stories are amazing. The first one, it's very singy. He's like a Roy Rogers kind of a cowboy, but just a killer shot. Which just a fun character to watch. It's like, oh, that cowboy did exist, and he just happened to be very cleanly. It's just like a very particular type of guy, but a dead shot, and just like it sets the tone from the start with kind of more the most cartoonish of stories. But I enjoy it. The very first one. Then it leads into, I think the next one is Pan Shot, where it's like a bank robbery gone wrong. That's just like, there's a scene in this one with an old guy wearing like his own fashioned type of armor with like pots and pans and things like that. And he's running at another person. And just a terrifying thing to be on the other side of that, where this old guy is like running at you and you're trying to shoot him, but you just keep fucking hitting the pan shot. Which kind of that scene that where, that pan shot where it's actually verbalized, like the character saying pan shot. There's another scene that's super tragic, where it's like this girl going on to the Oregon Trail type of thing, and just kind of people dying, and just kind of a little taste. Like all these stories are segments are like little tastes of what it was like to live in that time. And you have like the characterization the Coen brothers gives, and like amazing visuals. I mean, just it reminds me of Colorado and New Mexico and Utah. Like, just there's so many gorgeous places in this country that are sometimes occupied by some of the dimmest of people. But this story of like love, and like there's this scene where she's under attack and she's with this older guy, and they're under attack from Indians, and it's like how it sets that scene up and just how it ends so tragically. But there's a scene in that where these horses are stepping in prairie dog holes, and it reminded me a lot of the scene with the old man, except for his Indians coming, and it was the kind of the repetition of this thing occurring. Instead of pan shot, it's these holes. It works in a different way, but it has that kind of stacked pace, which I enjoyed. But the end of that is so tragic how that one ends. It's called The Gal Who Got Rattled, starring Zoe Kazan and Bill Heck and Grainer Hines. It's so good. And then the other one, the bank robbery one, is called Near Aldogons, starring James Franco and Stephen Root. Yeah. Then there's the last one, who's kind of good. It's kind of like the scene in Hateful Eight where everybody's just kind of in the carriage, and it's just this dialogue between characters. That's pretty much what this whole segment, The Mortal Remains. It's the very last segment in it, and it's very good too. I don't know. Probably didn't enjoy it necessarily as much as the other ones, but there's fucking as far great ones. The one All Gold's Canyon, starring Tom Waits. It's like this old prospector who's just like, you see his process of just like finding the shit. Like, this old man knows what the fuck he's doing, and it's just there's this moment of tension in that one too, where somebody just basically backstabs him, figuratively backstabs him. He literally does something else, but then it turns around. So good. Like, it's just, I want, like, all of these I want to see just fleshed out into a full movie. Then there's this super tragic Meal Ticket, starring Leslie Nielsen and Harry Melling, about like Nielsen's like this, he does a touring show, and he has this guy who has no limbs, no arms, no legs, sits on a stool and tells all kinds of stories, quotes like the Gettysburg Address, and like the fucking all the the government things. I'm trying to think of, like, 7 years ago, like every kind of thing that you could imagine somebody could memorize back then, maybe some plays, and he would tell these stories, and then all of a sudden competition comes in, and then he sees how easily he's replaced, and it's just so tragic, man. So good though. Check them out. They're all on Netflix, so watch it. But it is Thanksgiving time. It is the holiday season. So if you want to save 50% on everything that I sell over on my website, inspireddisorder.com, use coupon code THANKS18. That's thanks and the number 18. You'll save 50% off all of my artwork, shirts, everything that's available on my website. New episodes of this show come out daily. Subscribe everywhere podcasts are found. Binge this show over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder. Find all of my work, inspireddisorder.com. Find me at Ray Taylor. Have a great week, everybody. Have a great day. Peace out.